Welcome to Ask the Edmonds Cop. I'm Teresa Whipple, and today we have a special guest, K-9 Officer Jason Robinson. Welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
I think a lot of people might be surprised to learn that one of the City of Edmonds police officers actually used to work at Nordstrom. I found that fascinating. Tell me about that kind of career change you made.
Yeah, it was definitely a 180 as far as career change goes. I worked at Nordstrom for 10 years prior to becoming a police officer, which I didn't start till I was 36. I worked in the high fashion industry. They had an internal digital photo studio that supported web imagery and internal marketing.
Okay, and tell me how you got that bug to make that switch to police work.
Yeah, I had buddies that I roomed with in college that I stayed in touch with and who became police officers, and they were always trying to push me that way, thinking it'd be a good fit for my personality and my work ethic. And I was like, yeah, I'm gonna get some stock options, retired 35, and now I was 36 and still working away. And I had an opportunity to go on a ride along with Mukilteo PD. It wasn't a crazy night at all. It was pretty quiet. No real exciting calls, but there was something about it that just spoke to me. And I got home about 2 or 3 in the morning and woke my wife up and said, "Hey, I think this might be my calling." And she rolled her eyes at me. But nevertheless, I started through the process, and here I am 7 years later.
All right. And of course, you are a K-9 officer. We happen to have a photo of you with your dog, whose name is Hobbs.
Yes.
And quite a nice-looking pair there.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about, kind of the general overview of where do you get a dog like Hobbs? Where does he come from? How did that all work?
Yeah, where different agencies choose different routes to go get their dogs.
Yeah.
But one thing they all have in common is they want really high caliber, well-bred dogs that are going to remain healthy, that are smart and clear-headed and athletic, and all those qualities that we need for a working dog. We happen to go all the way to Germany to get ours.
Because he's a German Shepherd.
He's a German Shepherd,
right?
A real German Shepherd, right? We personally didn't get to go to Germany.
Okay.
We took advantage of YouTube, and
right.
We had somebody who we were in contact with over there that sent us some videos of the dogs, various dogs doing various different training exercises and things. So we kind of got a feel for sort of the personality of the dog and their working drive. And what, different things, their ball drive, we call it, how eager they are to find something that's hiding. And just based on those videos alone, we made a decision, and the reputation of the person we were asked to send us those videos.
Okay.
So we got Hobbs when he was 15 months old. He was imported into the United States through Canada. And then we just went through a lot of training.
Okay, and how old is he now?
Hobbs, he'll be 5 in May, coming up here.
So he's been on the job for a while now.
Yep, we're in the midst of our 4th year together.
All right, very good. And there's a lot that goes into training the dog, I know, and we happen to have a video that shows you working with him. So let's take a look at that. Tell me what he's doing.
Yeah, so I've thrown out there his favorite toy in the world is that Kong. I've told him to stay, and then I sent him on it, and then I tell him, nope, you can't have it at the last minute, which isn't very nice of me, but it's good training and good discipline for him. Put him in a down and a sit, bring him back, I down him again, and then I bring him back to my side, and then I'll give him a second, and then I'll reward him and let him go get his toy. Like to really mix it up, try and never keep it the same, so that he has to obey my commands regardless of what he's doing. And then I was pointing towards my car there. I can order him to go to the car whenever, and he can shelter himself in there.
Right, and obviously having a dog who's well trained is really important. And you had told me earlier there were many, many hours of training that are required, right?
Absolutely, yeah. Initially, we have to go through 400 hours of training in order to be eligible to take a state-certified test that sort of says, hey, yep, you guys are competent. You can go respond to 911 calls. And then we have that test annually. We have to maintain that certification. And then every month we're also required to maintain upwards of 16 hours of training, and we log that.
Okay, and we have some more video. You can talk some more about what you're doing with the dog here.
So I've laid out a little tracking scenario here where there's a purse that's hiding out there, and you can see him putting his nose down and looking in for that scent. And now he's really dragging me along because that's telling me, his body language is that he's in the scent. And he's working at a pretty good pace here. And sometimes the scent will drift off. It doesn't go footstep for footstep because those little flakes that are falling off tend to blow around. But there you can see he found a purse in the bushes, which is what I was hoping he would find, and he did.
Mission accomplished.
Mission accomplished,
All
yeah.
right, very good. And tell me some of the, one of the things that we talked about, you talk about flakes. We're actually talking about skin cells, right? That is
Yeah.
part of the scent. Tell me about that.
Yeah, and this is kind of the like nerdy, fun, scientific aspect of it, which I really enjoy. We're shedding as humans, we're shedding upwards of like 40,000 skin cells a minute, and they're dead skin cells that are, if you think of like dandruff, so it's kind of gross a little bit,
Yeah.
but they're falling off our body. You can't really see them, the human eye can't see them, but they're unique to every individual, much like a fingerprint, based on what food you've eaten, maybe what perfume or deodorant you're wearing, what laundry soap you use, all these things that come together, your genetic makeup, to say, yep, that is your unique smell. And as long as we have a spot where we can say that a suspect was or fled from, I can put the dog on that spot, imprint that scent on him, and say, hey, Hobbs, this is what you got to find, buddy. Find it and stay on that scent to the end. We've done some training exercises where we try and introduce newer, fresher scents across the track that we're on to try and entice him to go the other direction. But we've done enough training that he knows that once we imprint that initial scent on him, he's got to follow it to the end, which either means catching the person or maybe they're no longer in the area.
Okay, that's fascinating. And of course, dogs, just like human officers, put themselves in harm's way quite a bit. And we do have a photo of Hobbs wearing a vest.
Yeah,
Now,
there
tell
he
me
is.
about that. Yeah.
Yep, so that was a vest that was awarded to us through a grant, a company called Vested Interest in K-9s. And it's a bulletproof and stab-proof vest. Super important. What we ask the dogs to do is we put them out on a 30-foot, sometimes even a 60-foot leash, and we're saying, hey, go find that super bad felon that just committed this horrendous crime, who probably doesn't want to go back to jail, and you go out first, and then we'll come in behind you. So we're asking them to do some pretty dangerous stuff, and it puts them in harm's way every time we get them out, and we want to provide them with the best opportunity to be safe and come back so they can be healthy.
Okay, and talk about some of the crimes that generally you end up getting sent out on with a dog. I'm sure you don't go to everything.
No, certainly not. We're not going to chase somebody who stole a stick of gum or something
Right.
like that. It has to reach a pretty high level of crime. Typically, it has to be a felony. Some of the misdemeanor crimes that we track on are more domestic violence related, and that's simply because the way the domestic violence laws are in Washington, we want to apprehend that person as soon as we can so that we're protecting the victim, and that person who's fled from their own residence more than likely isn't going to be able to come back later that night and reoffend or re-victimize that person. So it's in everybody's best interest that we capture that person, so that's when we get the dog out and we'll track them down. Other crimes might be felony level crimes like running from a stolen vehicle or a residential burglary or commercial burglary, or maybe a robbery or a serious assault or something, anything where if we don't apprehend that person and they're out in the public, they're posing a danger. So we want to make sure that everybody is as safe as possible and we bring that person to justice.
Okay. And let's talk a little bit about, on a personal level, your dog lives with you 24/7, right? He's at
Yeah.
home with your family. What's that like?
It's great. I mean, personally, as a dog person, I think it's great. And it's really cool to have a dog that is, in my mind, he's won the lottery. He gets, he gets to go out and do police work, and he
Right.
has this working. He has a job, which is super neat. And when he's at work, he's super animated and protective and all that. But then we get him at home, he's just super sweet, quiet dog. He can hang out with my family. My kids can feed him and play with him, and he's just a great dog to have around the house. But I spend a lot of time with him. We're on call all the time, so we could be called out from home at any moment.
Right.
And he's always ready to go.
That's great. Is there anything we didn't talk about in terms of K-9 work you wanted to mention?
Just that it's a big commitment for people, and it's not just magic. We put a lot of work
Yeah.
and time and effort into it, and but when it works, it is the coolest thing in the world. And that dog can do the job of 100 officers. When somebody's hiding in a dark wooded area, it may take dozens and dozens of officers hours and hours to search that area. Whereas we can bring that dog into that area, and within 15 minutes, he can probably narrow it down, if not sooner, and find their suspects. So it's a really good asset to be out there.
Okay, good. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.
Officer Jason Robinson, it was great to have you. We'll be back again soon with another episode of Ask the Edmonds Cop.